Constantine I was the son of Constantius I and was acclaimed by his father's troops. Accepted as Caesar by Galerius in 306, promoted to Augustus in 307 by Maximian, refused demotion to Caesar in 309. During much of his time as emperor, he would war with European barbarians, driving deep into their territory which had been abandoned by previous emperors. In 312, he would be baptized by either the Arian bishop Eusebius of Nicomedia or the Catholic Pope Sylvester I. His proclamation of the Edict of Milan in 313 and later convoking the First Council of Nicaea in 325 would further affirm his dutifulness to the faith and pushing it to the forefront of Roman culture. He would have the Church of the Holy Sepulchre built on the site of Jesus' tomb and name it the holiest place in Christendom. He would also build his imperial residence in the city of Byzantium and rename it Constantinople, with later emperors making it the official capital of the Eastern Roman Empire. His reign would mark the shift from classical antiquity to the Middle Ages. His reputation flourished during the lifetime of his children and for centuries after his reign. The medieval church held him up as a paragon of virtue, while secular rulers invoked him as a prototype, a point of reference and the symbol of imperial legitimacy and identity. Constantine II was the son of Constantine I. Son of Constantine the Great and co-emperor alongside his brothers, his attempt to exert his perceived rights of primogeniture led to his death in a failed invasion of Italy in 340. He was born in Arles in February 316 and raised as a Christian and a follower of the Nicene Creed, which would put him at odds with Constantius II, who followed the teachings of Arian. During his time as Caesar, he would be taken on campaign with his father and would be made commander of Gaul at the age of 10 after his half-brother Crispus had died. After his father's death, the empire would be split into three, with Constantine administrating Gaul, Britannia, and Hispania, as well as guardianship of his younger brother Constance, who was to administer Italia, Africa, and Illyricum. As Constance came of age, Constantine wished to assert more power over him, but would be killed in an ambush by Constance's generals outside Aquileia. Constance then took control of his deceased brother's realm. Constance I was the son of Constantine I. He held the imperial rank of Caesar from 333 and was the youngest son of Constantine the Great. After his father's death, he was made Augustus alongside his brothers in September 337. Constance was given the administration of the Praetorian prefectures of Italy, Illyricum, and Africa. He defeated the Sarmatians in a campaign shortly afterwards. Quarrels over the sharing of power led to a civil war with his eldest brother and co-emperor Constantine II, who invaded Italy in 340 and was killed in battle with Constance's forces near Aquileia. Constance gained from him the Praetorian prefecture of Gaul. Thereafter, there were tensions with his remaining brother and co-Augustus Constantius II, including over the exiled bishop Athanasius of Alexandria. In the following years, he campaigned against the Franks, and in 343 he visited Roman Britain, the last legitimate emperor to do so. In January 350, Magnentius, the commander of the Jovians and Herculians, a corps in the Roman army, was acclaimed Augustus at Augustodunum, Autun, with the support of Marcellinus, the Comes Rei Privatae. Magnentius overthrew and killed Constance. Constantius II was the son of Constantine I. His reign saw constant warfare on the borders against the Sasanian Empire and Germanic peoples, while internally the Roman Empire went through repeated civil wars, court intrigues, and usurpations. His religious policies of Arianism drew conflict with Catholics and continue well after his death. During his inconclusive war with Persia, Constantine and Constans warred between themselves until the elder's death. After Constance had been overthrown and assassinated by the usurper Magnentius, Constantius II would kill him in 353. In 355, Constantius promoted his last surviving cousin, Gallus's younger half-brother Julian, to the rank of Caesar. As emperor, he would ban pagan sacrifices and issue laws against the followers of the Talmud. He would defeat the barbarian Alemanni in 354 and the Quadi and Sarmatians in 357. Julian would rebel in 360. and by 361 Constantius would fall ill and die of fever in Mopsuesita. Julian the Apostate was acclaimed by the Gallic army in early 360, became sole emperor after the death of his cousin, Constantius II. Last pagan emperor who attempted to undermine the believers in Christ by forbidding them from teaching and learning classical texts, as well as empower the legions of the Antichrist who held up the Talmud as their holy book. In 360, he was proclaimed emperor by his soldiers at Lutetia, Paris, sparking a civil war with Constantius. However, Constantius died before the two could face each other in battle and named Julian as his successor. In 363, Julian embarked on an ambitious campaign against the Sasanian Empire. The campaign was initially successful, securing a victory outside Ctesiphon in Mesopotamia. However, he did not attempt to besiege the capital. Julian instead moved into Persia's heartland, but he soon faced supply problems and was forced to retreat northwards while being ceaselessly harassed by Persian skirmishes. During the Battle of Samarra, Julian was mortally wounded under mysterious circumstances. He was succeeded by Jovian, a senior officer in the Imperial Guard who was obliged to cede territory, including Nisibis, in order to save the trapped Roman forces. Jovian was the commander of Imperial Household Guard, proclaimed emperor by the army after Julian's death. He would make peace with the Persian king Shapur II by relinquishing territory and removing Roman support from the Armenians. Jovian is remembered today as permanently removing paganism from the administration of the empire and formally recognizing Athanasius and informally the Nicene Creed over the Arian heresy. The Labarum would be restored to the army's standard, and the edicts made by the apostate Julian against the followers of Christ would be revoked. Seeking to return to Constantinople, Jovian would be found dead in his tent at Dadastana, which is halfway between Ancyra and Nicaea. His death was determined to have been from suffocating from poisonous fumes of the newly painted bedchamber walls of a brazier. He would be buried in the Church of the Holy Apostles in Constantinople. Following Jovian's death, Valentinian and Valens removed any threats to their position. Jovian's son, Veronianus, was blinded to ensure he would never inherit the throne. According to John Chrysostom, Jovian's wife, Charito, lived in fear the remaining days of her life.